Hello, everyone. This is Stephanie Milligan, and today I'll be presenting to you a video discussion diving into Michael J. Polish Jr.'s Archibald Alexander and the Use of Books, Theological Education and Print Culture in the Early Republic. Much of early American culture lies in religious development and how it shapes colonial societies. We learned in this class the different theological practices of different branches of Christianity and how it formed societal ideologies and how they were the building blocks of how each affected the flow and systems within these microcultures. We're able to know so much and analyze these areas of history through the publishing of different written works and scholarly push in educational institutions to be able to produce such works. So, just a little background of Alexander Archibald before continuing on in this discussion. Archibald was a Virginia native born in 1772 in Rockbridge County, Virginia. He was raised in a religious home and educated at the Liberty Hall Academy until becoming a tutor at age 17. In 1791, he became a minister in the Presbyterian Church. Throughout the remainder of his life, he acted as president of Hampden-Sydney and Union College in Georgia and was also a professor of Princeton Theological Seminary. Throughout his life, he is described as seldom without a book in his hand and devour rather than peruse when reading. In one sentence, he sought to make the Bible the center of theological education and wanted books about theology accessible to all students and learners of the United States. He found the Bible to be the greatest literary work that should be the baseline for all understanding of theological studies and would be crucial to the experience of learning because he cites it as not only the best book, but the first book. It was his belief that the Bible contained the beginnings of all things and all subject matters from the alphabet to politics. And in order to properly understand it, students would need to be able to also understand history, languages, geography, and other subject matters. His idea was that theology and philosophy are two sides of the same coin. Archibald was a great advocate for libraries and books and written word being available to students so much that universities and areas of academics agreed and developed plans to add more literature for students within their libraries. By the 10th anniversary of the Theological Studies Seminole of Princeton, as mentioned previously, he was the singular professor at the time for this particular area of study. It had grown from Alexander Archibald being the singular professor who advocated for more books and centralizing studies around the Bible to having three professors, its own dedicated building, and about 154 college students in attendance. Those numbers grew exponentially by the time of its semi-centennial celebration, with many publications from students to add to its library and archive of academic resources. Alumnus William B. Sproul claimed, if all the books which have been written on this ground were gathered, they would not only go far towards forming a library, but among them would be found some of the best productions in their respective departments that any language can furnish. So this furthers the importance that he put on different subject matters, leaning into other ideologies. So how the Bible gives context to history, geography, and all the other subject matters. Beyond a lover of books, Alexander Archibald gave sermons and was an author himself. A sermon he gave at Princeton was noted by his son as having a happy outcome and causing a great stir of inspiration for the men of the university. As an author and lover of books, his goal was to make the understanding of the Bible accessible and advocated for Sunday schools to have free libraries that included literature that was entertaining and educational. His belief was that Sunday schools would allow all children to learn about the Bible and how to read and bring home books of interest to continue their passion for all reading. He was also a literary historian who wrote the recent histories of the church to connect the past to the present and create a timeline narrative of understanding. Publishing works for theological studies set a fire in the academic world of the United States, as these works became historical resources that outlined areas of religious context. Some of the earliest advancements in papermaking, production of press materials, and resource management were because of this influx in need of books and printed papers related to religion. There were so many different printed forms of information, such as the Bible, pamphlets, and periodicals that covered a wide range of subjects, as Archibald sought when advocating for the centralization of the Bible in these studies. Alexander Archibald centered the Bible in his teachings, and he believed it to be the best and first book, reaching students of all roads and subject matters. He was also a strong advocate for literacy, intending that all students should have access to the Bible and other resources in order to grow as readers and better understand how to apply the idea of the center of religious context. His extensive work in advocacy and writing, coupled with his passion for reading himself, developed a strong literary culture for the United States that has allowed historians to understand and reference each early religious text, as well as build an academic culture rooted in archiving, research, and reading. Thank you guys so much.